Is this in the way?
Nah, we're good. All right. Brent Leary back again, chilling in Bermuda. It's just perfect weather here, and the water is just beautiful, isn't it?
You may be chilling. I'm working.
Oh, okay. Well, of course, he is chilling and working at the same time. He is Vinnie Merchandani, analyst and author extraordinaire in the industry. Thank you, man, for stopping by.
Thank you for having me.
Well, we got to thank Oracle for having us here, right?
Fantastic, isn't it? I mean, yes, beautiful weather, beautiful setting.
Did they put the weather there for us too? I mean,
I'm going to give them credit.
All right.
They're our hosts. We've got to be nice to them.
All right, we'll be nice to them. We'll talk about some of the things that they're doing with the America's Cup, the Team USA, and Oracle's a big sponsor of it. And this is the first time I'll actually be able to see a race, because I missed it yesterday. What I missed yesterday?
Well, what you missed yesterday was they've had a format of 2 races per day. So it really is a long time waiting kind of scenario. So the previous weekend there were 4 races, 2 on Saturday, 2 on Sunday, and I watched that on NBC. And then yesterday there were 2 races. Today again there'll be 2 races. If needed, well, certainly we'll go into Monday because just the way the calculations are working. And if needed, there'll be 3 on Tuesday to finish it off.
Wow, okay.
So whoever gets to 7 points first, and Kiwis and New Zealanders are at 5 right now. Oracle is at 1. So, Oracle needs 6 more, and they need.
Well, let's talk a little bit about some of the technology. We had a couple of minutes before we had a chance to sit through an Oracle Tech Talk around how they're applying technology in really all aspects of racing.
And not just racing, the broadcasting. It's amazing the technology that has been used to broadcast, a race that 20 years ago or 100 years ago, only a privileged few could even find out about a few days later what happened, right?
Right.
So now it's live and all kinds of, well, we can talk about that as we go along.
Yeah. I was talking to Michael Krigsman a little before, and the thing that stood out to me was one of the first statements. The race has been going on since 1851, and he said from the very beginning it was about technology.
Yes, technology back then, right? So it was, the sails were heavy, made out of natural fiber. They were mono hull, but slight advantages even over there, and some cheating I'm sure went on back then.
Right. No, they call that gamesmanship, man.
But it is technology, but it's also a lot of tactics, right? So the Oracle team has a tactician, right? So it's not just the technology certainly has evolved and it's amazing, right?
Right.
But it still is a lot of on-the-fly changes, and again, technology helps there.
Yeah, I was getting ready to say with the ability to collect so much information and data, and as they say, they'll look at it right after the race, look at video, get data, and they'll apply that to strategy for the next day. So that's something they weren't able to do 10, 15 years ago.
Certainly, and now, if you look at it, in addition to what the tactician is advising the helmsman in the U.S. team case, the helmsman has a steering wheel that has a bunch of controls. So the technology is allowing him to control a lot more of the sail, the trim, when it's just a quantum different than what it was just 4 years ago, and then light leap years ahead of where it was in the 1850s.
Yeah. So talk about some of the things that other industries can learn from the way that they're doing these things. It's not just because sports is so out there, but they're using it and they're applying it, and how could some other industries and businesses look at what they do?
So I would say there's probably at least 4 areas. There's material science, there is the technology leading up to the design and the technology leading up to the getting ready for the races. There's technology during the races, all the data they're collecting, all the adjustments they're making, both in race and between races. And then the whole transmission technology, right? I mean, it's just, so every industry in different ways can learn. And in some ways, different industries have contributed, right? So material science, if you look at the sales, a lot of aerospace companies are involved in the design of these sails now. Carbon fiber is preferred fiber for those sails today. And so, in terms of sturdiness and weight and all that, aerodynamics, aerospace industry has contributed. If you look at sensory data that has been collected, both on the fly and outside, every industry with the Internet of Things, IoT, is the industrial internet, is looking at ways to leverage sensors. Now, they take weeks to get the data into their operational systems.
Right.
Here it's happening on the fly and overnight adjustments. So yeah, speed, agility, people can learn. And then if you look at their transmission technology, it's just remarkable what they're doing with, so they have a couple of helicopters with high-speed cameras. They have a couple of drones that are following these boats. They have some of the boats themselves have cameras, and they're splicing it all together. It's amazing how it looks so smooth when so many different streams are being put together. And then when you look at it on TV, you could see, they show different metrics: wind speed, the speed of the boat, wind direction.
Wow.
As a guy this morning was saying, it's all about the density of, it's all about wind speed, but to break that down, you need density, you need humidity, you need temperature, you need so many factors to be taken into account. How many industries could use that? Agriculture could use that. So many different industries could use that.
Yeah, that is really interesting, though. Like you said, it's almost, we take for granted because we watch football and basketball, and you get all the different views, and you get this flow of information, but it's all in a static location. This is on the go. It's moving. It's wide. So you're right. The applying technology to all aspects, not just from the actual act of being in the race, but even from our side of being able to watch it in a way that is more meets our expectations as consumers.
I think the only other sport that comes close is Tour de France, because this bicycling goes over a fair amount of distance and at speeds, but this goes up to like almost 55 miles an hour,
Wow.
So, and they're constantly, it's not a set course, in the races, the helmsmen are deciding I need to jibe here or I need to go straight, so, it's not predictable. At least in bicycling, there is a predictable course.
Right.
So yeah, it's a lot about agility and using technology to A, monitor it, and B, be able to take advantage of it.
The other thing is we're, in companies, there's so many silos, people have their own turf, and there's not as much communication as there should be. Here, they can't afford to be like that. They have to be able to share it across to everybody because everybody plays an important role.
One thing I didn't mention was another area this is contributing to is in health science, right? The grinders or the bicyclists on the New Zealand team are just, they do monitor them, and you'll see them on the bottom of the TV screen, their heartbeat per minute.
Really?
They are pushing the envelope in terms of
human capabilities, yeah.
Health, technology. We heard a guy say for 20 minutes they are at
80,
generating 300 watts.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable what the amount of, and by the way, the America Cup rules say you can only have 6 crew and it cannot exceed a certain weight, right? So it's not like you can bring a football linesman and say, get on here.
Yeah,
So
really.
they're extremely athletic folks. So they're pushing the boundaries of human capabilities. As they say, it's the oil. It's all provided by human power, human propulsion.
So you got any predictions for today?
Well, I'm hoping the U.S. continues to do well, right? It's they've Oracle. I wrote a blog last week where I said, I know bad luck comes in threes. Hopefully, good luck comes in threes. So, Oracle had a very good year, right?
Their last report.
Very good year.
Yeah.
Gartner put them in the top right of the cloud financials Magic Quadrant, and so why not have third come true also. You know, my wife is Irish, and the Shamrock comes in 3 leads. So good luck does come in threes, and I'm hoping Oracle US gets the third break.
Yeah, well, hopefully they'll win today, which means they'd have to race tomorrow. They didn't win again tomorrow, and then that means they have to race Tuesday. So that'd be a couple more days like this, right?
Well, I'll probably be watching on TV by then. But yeah, it's you know, it's always good to, you know, the funny thing is you're a big sports fan. The Super Bowl was really close.
Yeah.
The NBA Finals last year.
Why'd you have to bring the Super Bowl up to a guy that lives in Atlanta?
But my point is, it's good to see really competitive sports where, you know, blowouts are not much fun.
Right. That's true. That's true. Well, yeah. I would have taken a blowout in the Super Bowl out of the way it ended. But anyway.
Almost was.
Yeah. Well, Vinny, thanks again for the time.
Thank you.
We'll see you at a conference soon somewhere, right?
Is that okay?
It's fine, yep.